all, welcome back to Bosco Campus Vision. In today's session, we'll be dealing with the summary and analysis of Act 1, Scene 5 of Hamlet. In the previous scene, the ghost of the late King Hamlet is being seen by the Prince Hamlet, and the ghost asks Hamlet to follow it, and Horatio and Marcellus forbids him to do that. Even after that, Hamlet is following the ghost, and Act 1, Scene 5 is a continuation of Scene 4. It begins with the ghost's disclosure to Hamlet. So, what exactly does the ghost wish to tell to Hamlet that he is unwilling to share to others? Let's see. Hamlet learns from the ghost the manner in which his late father had met his death. According to the ghost, it was murder most foul, strange, and unnatural. So the ghost is speaking to Hamlet regarding the manner in which the late king had met his death. The ghost says that it was a murder most foul meaning that he was deceived. He was murdered, he was deceived in a strange and unnatural manner. It had been given out that, while sleeping in his orchard, Hamlet's father had been bitten by a serpent and had died of the serpent's sting. So everyone believed that the late King Hamlet died of serpent's sting while he was having a nap in his orchard. He was bitten by a serpent and he died of the serpent's sting. But that wasn't the truth. The truth of the matter was that his brother, who now wears his and has wedded his wife, had killed him by pouring poison into his ear as he slept in the orchard. So at this point, the ghost reveals to Hamlet that he had been murdered by his own brother, and Claudius went on to marry his wife Gertrude too. And Claudius had killed him by pouring poison into his ear while he was sleeping in his orchard. And then he spread the rumor that he had died of serpent's sting. The ghost speaks in very strong terms about the wickedness of the murderer and of the conduct of his wife in having married that man. So the ghost, while he was living, was unaware of the bad conduct of his brother, but now he can see things clearly, and now the ghost wants his son to be aware of Claudius, and that is why he speaks in very strong terms about the wickedness of Claudius and about the conduct of his wife in choosing to marry that man. The ghost refers to the present king as that incestuous, that adulterate beast, and calls upon Hamlet to avenge the murder of his father. So after revealing the monstrous murderer, the ghost then asks Hamlet to avenge his father's death. The ghost, however, asks Hamlet not to harm the queen. The ghost would like Hamlet to leave the queen to be punished by heaven and by her conscience, which is sure to torment her for her infidelity. So the ghost wants Hamlet to have revenge on Claudius, but he should spare Gertrude. Because the ghost believes that when Gertrude comes to know about all these things, her conscience in itself will be a torment for her, and that she will surely suffer for her infidelity or her unfaithfulness to her husband. The ghost then departs, leaving Hamlet shocked and stunned by the strange disclosure. So after the revelation, the ghost moves away, leaving Hamlet shocked and stunned by the strange disclosure. In a soliloquy, Hamlet pledges himself not to forget the ghost or the ghost's words. So in the soliloquy, he is resolving to have his revenge on Claudius. He pledges himself not to forget the ghost or the ghost's words. His mother now appears to him in a much uglier light and he calls her a most pernicious woman, while his uncle, whom he already hated, is a villain, smiling damned villain. He is now spiteful of his mother and he thinks of her as a pernicious woman, as a woman capable of harming other people. And while his uncle, whom he already hated, is a villain, smiling damned villain. Horatio and Marcellus now join Hamlet and ask him what the ghost has said to him, but he puts them off. However, he tells him that he will, from now on, put on an antic disposition and will behave and talk as if he had gone crazy. He then binds them to secrecy about what he has told them. So after the ghost leaves the stage, Horatio and Marcellus enter and they inquire about what the ghost had said to him, but he puts them off. Then he tells them that from now on he will put on an antique disposition, meaning he will put on an alternate character, another character, and will behave and talk as if he had gone crazy. He then binds them to secrecy. So after telling them that he will be behaving in a crazy manner from now on, he then tells them that you should not reveal this to anyone else. He then binds them to secrecy about what he has told them. And thus ends Act 1, Scene 5. Now let's move on to the critical analysis. The great importance of this scene. This is obviously the most important scene in the first act. The disclosure made by the ghost to Hamlet forms the very basis for the action of the rest of the play. So, with the revelation of the ghost, Hamlet is being given a motive that enables the plot to move forward. So, this scene is very important when it comes to Hamlet. Melancholy and depressed though Hamlet had been feeling even before the ghost had spoken to him, he had never suspected his uncle of having murdered his father. See, Hamlet has been melancholic, he has been depressed right from the start. Even before he comes to know that his father has been murdered by his own brother Claudius. But still, he has never suspected his uncle of having murdered his father. A grave responsibility now rests upon Hamlet's shoulders. He has to avenge his father's murder. After the ghost's revelation, a grave responsibility rests upon his shoulder. That is, he has to kill his father's murderer, Claudius. He seems to be almost conscious of his incapacity for the task imposed on him because in the closing speech of this scene, he feels sorry that he has to set right the time which is out of joint. So he feels sorry that he has to fix things that are out of place, and this almost shows us that he is incapable for the task that is imposed on him. That is, he has to avenge his father's death. He is really incapable of doing it. That is evident through his soliloquy. This scene throws much light on the character of the present king, who we learn is a perfect villain. So the villainess of the present king, Claudius, is being put to light in the scene. In the ghost's speech, we get a brief contrast between the character of the dead king and that of the present king. We begin to hate this villain as much as Hamlet hates him. Another very important point in this scene is that Hamlet decides to pretend that he has gone mad. As there is a lot of controversy about the nature of Hamlet's madness, that is, whether it is feigned or genuine, his telling Horatio and Marcellus that he will from now on put on an antique disposition should serve as valuable evidence to support the view that Hamlet does not actually go mad. So it has always been a matter of discussion between critics whether Hamlet's madness was real or feigned. And the evidence for this doubt can be seen in this scene. He asserts to his friend Horatio and Marcellus that he will from now on put an antique disposition, so he will behave in an alternate manner from now on, and this statement would serve as a valuable evidence to support the view that Hamlet does not actually go mad. So he is not really mad, he is only pretending to be mad. So that becomes the end of this session, and as assignment, note down your views on Act 1, Scene 5 of Hamlet. Thank you and have a nice day.